Not every invention got its recognition during its era. Certain things, like the iPhone and electric cars, earn instant acclaim when they reach stores, while others are usually overlooked. Luckily, a few reappear long afterward, though even then, they often fail to leave the influence they deserved. These are the 15 lost inventions that should have changed the entire world. Number 15. Clepsydra of Karnak. To be fair, the Egyptian water clock isn't unique to their culture. Other civilizations also used it. But it's still worth highlighting, especially since most people don't even know it existed. While ancient societies used the sun to track time, it wasn't always precise, especially without sundials or consistent observation. The water clock, aka Clepsydra of Karnak, solved that by relying on liquid flow. Water would drip in or out of a container, and based on how much water moved over time, people could track the hour. It was a simple but surprisingly efficient way to measure time. Of course, it had limitations, like water behaves differently at various temperatures, and the flow could shift based on conditions. Still, it worked well enough to be used for centuries across multiple cultures. It might have lacked the accuracy of modern fancy clocks, but it was one of the first tools that allowed humans to measure time on their own terms, even without sunlight. Number 14. Zhenghe Treasure Ship. When we say treasure ships, this isn't about gold. These were the huge flagship vessels used during the Ming Dynasty under Admiral Zhenghe. These ships were called Bao Chuan because of what they represented: diplomacy, prestige, and strength. Zhenghe commanded a fleet that undertook multiple voyages across the Indian Ocean, visiting Southeast Asia, India, and even East Africa. These ships were enormous for their time. Some estimates suggest they were over 120 meters long and carried soldiers, diplomats, cargo, and rare gifts. Though not built for speed, they were loaded with firepower and heavily armed. What's mysterious is how such large-scale naval power faded so quickly. After Zheng He's expeditions ended, China shifted inward, and these vessels disappeared. Despite extensive study, no complete treasure ship has ever been found. They remain a lost legacy of naval engineering, proof that centuries before European exploration, ancient Chinese fleets had already sailed across oceans in strength. Number 13. Roman central heating. This isn't exactly a lost invention. It's more like an ancient one we kept upgrading. Roman central heating, or hypocaust, was an early form of underfloor heating. It wasn't just about comfort. Staying warm in colder climates was a basic survival need. Romans designed a system where a furnace would pump heat beneath the floors, supported by small columns. The heat flowed through gaps and even up the walls using flues or clay pipes, circulating warmth throughout the home. It dates back as early as 350 BCE and was mostly used by the wealthy, given how fuel-intensive it was. Still, it laid the groundwork for today's central heating systems. What's wild is that despite all our progress, many homes around the world still lack proper heating, even in developed countries. The only thing truly lost here is the idea that basic warmth should be universal by now. The Romans figured it out centuries ago. So what's our excuse? Number 12. Greek automatic doors. Let's go to Greece, where inventors came up with ideas far ahead of their time, including the world's first known automatic doors. You might think that couldn't happen without electricity, but they didn't need it. Heron of Alexandria designed a system that used heat, pressure, and pulleys to open temple doors automatically. Fires would heat water in a sealed container, and the resulting steam would build pressure, moving weights and opening the doors. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it was real. Heron's invention was groundbreaking, but after its initial appearance, it disappeared for centuries. It wasn't until 1931 that someone else attempted to recreate a working version. And even then, automatic doors wouldn't become widespread until decades after that. Heron's design shows how inventive ancient thinkers truly were. They didn't need wires or electricity, just understanding, experimentation, and creativity. What do we use casually today? They were building before the modern world even began. Number 11. Persian wind catcher. This invention isn't entirely forgotten. It's just underappreciated. Known as a wind catcher or badgir, it's an ancient Persian architectural feature that acted like natural air conditioning. Tall, open towers were built onto rooftops to trap passing breezes, directing them down into the house and circulating cool air through the rooms. In a region like Iran, where temperatures often soar, these passive cooling systems were life-saving. No electricity, no machinery, just airflow and smart engineering. For centuries, wind catchers were used across the Middle East and North Africa. Then came modern air conditioners, and the old towers fell out of use, until recently. Today, they're being revived for their low cost and zero energy demand. With rising energy costs and climate concerns, some architects are taking notes from ancient builders. These towers were more than clever designs. They were practical, sustainable, and brilliantly simple. The fact that they still work today proves just how effective they really were. Number 10. Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower. Since there are a lot of fictional Tesla devices, let's talk about a real one. Nikola Tesla Tower. This was a prototype built around his vision for the future, a system that could send wireless signals globally. He was working on this back in the early 1900s, before wireless tech even had a proper name. His goal was to transmit messages and images, possibly even energy, across vast distances, including over the Atlantic. Did it succeed? Well, no one's sure. Not because the blueprints were lost, but because Tesla lost his funding before the system went live. Classic Tesla tragedy. Still, it raises the question, what if he had secured backing and gotten the tower operational? The implications for global communication, even during the World Wars, could have been enormous. Instead, it was torn down in 1917, and all we're left with is speculation. Another vision from Tesla shelved, another what if in the shadow of missed potential. Number 9. Al-Jazari's elephant clock. Earlier, we talked about water clocks and how they were used across different civilizations. But some cultures didn't just want a functional timepiece, they wanted something that stood out. That's where Al-Jazari's elephant clock comes in. This elaborate device was both artistic and mechanical, shaped like an elephant carrying a multi-figure display, including a serpent and people. It wasn't just visually striking, it worked too. The mechanism was powered by water and used a system of weights and pulleys to tell time, even tracking temporal hours, a method of dividing daytime into equal segments. It's a complex process, but one that showed incredible creativity. The clock wasn't just about telling time, it was about design, engineering, and flair. People today have even recreated it for exhibitions, proving that it still captures attention centuries later. Some inventions were made to be practical. This one did both, functional and unforgettable. Number 8. Arabic astrolabe. Like the Antikythera device, the Arabic astrolabe was built to study the stars and help travelers navigate long before GPS existed. It wasn't digital. It didn't need to be. This tool, carved with remarkable detail, allowed sailors and scholars to track celestial movement, calculate altitude, and pinpoint geographic position. The more intricate the inscriptions, the more functions it could perform. In skilled hands, it became a portable observatory. Arabic scientists refined it between the 8th and 15th centuries, building on earlier Greek designs. Sailors relied on it to chart courses across vast seas, especially at night when visual landmarks disappeared. These devices weren't just technical instruments. They were also artistic, with brass detailing and geometric beauty. Over time, more modern navigational tools replaced them, but the astrolabe's precision and ingenuity remain legendary. Some are still preserved in museums, standing as proof that centuries ago, people were already solving complex problems with tools that needed no electricity. Number 7. Viking Sunstone. When most people picture Vikings, they think of raiders and longships, not scientists or inventors, but they were master navigators, and one of their more underrated tools might have been the sunstone. According to various medieval texts, this crystal could help sailors locate the sun's position even through clouds or fog, especially during twilight. Back then, navigation relied heavily on the sun, but when it was hidden, mistakes could be fatal. The sunstone allegedly worked by filtering polarized light and revealing the sun's location with surprising accuracy. The exact type of stone used is still debated. Many suggest Iceland spar or calcite, but no one can confirm which mineral it was. While modern recreations have shown the theory is viable, there's no surviving original sunstone tied to Viking ships. Still, the concept is impressive. If the stories are true, it means Vikings had access to navigation tech that science wouldn't explain until centuries later. Number 6. Chinese earthquake detector. Earlier, we mentioned how staying warm is crucial to survival. Another necessity was enduring nature's disasters. For centuries, people have devised ways to anticipate calamities and protect themselves. But one of history's most baffling devices comes from ancient China. An earthquake detector built nearly 2,000 years ago. The inventor, Zhang Heng, was a scholar during the Han Dynasty and served the imperial court. He gifted the emperor this quake-sensing urn adorned with dragons, each clutching a ball in its mouth. Legend says that when an earthquake occurred, the dragon facing that direction would release its ball, signaling the quake's origin. Initially dismissed as superstition, everything changed when a ball dropped without any tremor being felt locally. Days later, messengers reported a distant quake in that exact direction. Modern researchers still don't fully understand how it functioned. One recreated model reportedly works, but confirmation requires a real quake. Zhang may have pulled off what modern tech still struggles to perfect. Number 5. Qanat. In Iran, a country often facing water scarcity, the need to move water over long distances has always been a serious concern. One of the smartest solutions was the construction of the Qanat, an underground aqueduct system designed to preserve water while transporting it. These structures were crafted by digging vertical shafts connected by gently sloping tunnels. They tapped into deep groundwater sources and carried water across long stretches without relying on pumps. Since the flow happened naturally via gravity, it saved effort, money, and energy. The underground design also protected the water from evaporating under the sun, a critical perk in hot climates. This system has been around for thousands of years and is still used in some regions today. It wasn't flashy, but it worked, and it's a perfect example of sustainability done right. Number 4. The Claw of Archimedes. Archimedes remains one of history's most brilliant inventors, so much so that many inventions were later attributed to him, whether real or exaggerated. One of the more debated but plausible designs was the Claw of Archimedes, a defense mechanism allegedly used during the siege of Syracuse. Described as a massive crane-like arm, it was designed to latch onto enemy ships, lift them partially out of the water, shake them violently, or drop them hard enough to cause serious damage or even sink them outright. Some thought it was a myth, but several modern experiments have recreated the concept and confirmed it could have worked with the materials available at the time. It would have been a terrifying sight for invading ships, a mechanical arm rising from the coast to destroy vessels before they even reached land. Whether it existed exactly as described remains uncertain, but the concept alone shows the level of strategic thinking Archimedes brought to warfare. Number 3. Piri Reis maps have shaped human history, even when incomplete. The Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513 by Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, is one of the most puzzling. Only a third of it survives, yet that fragment is enough to raise eyebrows. It accurately depicts parts of Europe, North Africa, and even parts of South America with surprising precision, despite being made before much of that land was officially charted. Piri Reis claimed he compiled it using older sources, including maps from Alexander the Great's time. That claim is debated, but the detail is undeniable. Some parts are strangely modern, while others reflect the 16th century worldview. What's strange is how it vanished from records, only to be rediscovered in a Turkish palace centuries later. Nobody knows how widely it was used or how accurate the full version really was. Number 2. Indian iron pillar. In a world where everything decays, metal rusts, wood rots, stone wears, the existence of the iron pillar in Delhi, India, is hard to explain. This column stands over 7 meters tall, weighs around 6 tons, and is over 1,600 years old. Yet it hasn't rusted. That alone makes it one of history's strangest engineering feats. Made sometime around the 4th or 5th century CE, the pillar is composed of nearly pure iron. What's remarkable is how it's survived centuries of monsoons, moisture, and pollution without corroding. Scientists believe its resistance is due to its high phosphorus content and the climate. But even then, it's unusually well preserved. Some theorists claim it came from extraterrestrial origins or lost technology. Truth is, it's just a result of expert craftsmanship and materials that worked far better than expected. It's a reminder that durability isn't always about modern materials. Sometimes ancient ones outperform what we rely on today. Number 1. The Phaistos disc. Let's end in Greece, the birthplace of countless inventions that reshaped the world. One of the strangest is the Phaistos disc, a mysterious clay artifact covered in stamped symbols. It's not its construction that's confusing, it's the meaning that has experts stumped. Estimated to come from the Bronze Age, it holds a spiral of unknown pictographs that nobody's ever deciphered. Dozens of interpretations have been proposed, but none have been proven. Some thought it was fake, but it's genuine. Someone made it with intention. What makes it maddening is how readable it looks, yet no one can translate it. Some scholars think it's a coded language, others suggest it's an entirely lost tongue. Linguists, archaeologists, and code breakers have spent decades trying to unlock its secrets, all without success. It was likely meant to be remembered, but its meaning remains lost. Even now, it sits uncracked. With modern tools and centuries of effort behind us, you'd think we'd have figured it out by now. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you pretty soon in the next one.